You wake up in the morning, and immediately, your mind begins its endless loop. Before you even sit up, it's running. Yesterday's conversations, today's to-dos, tomorrow's what-ifs. Every thought spins into another. Every decision feels monumental. Every word you said or didn't say becomes a scenario you relive and analyze. And it's exhausting before you've even had your coffee. Most people think overthinking is just thinking too much. They tell you to relax, to stop worrying, to just let go. But that advice barely scratches the surface. Because overthinking isn't a habit, it's a lens through which the world becomes sharper, louder, more overwhelming than it needs to be. It's not just thinking, it's feeling every thought as if it were an event, a crisis, a failure waiting to happen. You've probably noticed it yourself. You can be in a conversation, laughing on the outside, while on the inside your brain is replaying every sentence that might have been misunderstood, every joke that might have fallen flat, every pause that might have meant judgment. And hours later, you're still stuck in the same mental loop, exhausted but unable to stop. The strange thing is, overthinking often hides behind a mask of competence and calm. Outwardly, you may appear thoughtful, careful, and precise. People might even admire your attention to detail. But the reality is much heavier. The precision comes at a cost. Your inner life becomes a storm you can't switch off. Your thoughts are loud, your emotions acute, your mind a labyrinth where every door opens to another question you never wanted to ask. Why does this happen? Why do overthinkers suffer more than others? Because life itself becomes both subject and instrument of analysis. Every action, every interaction, every decision is not just experienced. It is dissected, measured, judged, rerun, and questioned endlessly. You don't just live. You audit yourself constantly, and the longer this continues, the more your mind learns to find patterns of fear and error in even the smallest, most mundane events. And there's another hidden layer most people don't see. Overthinkers are highly sensitive. The world is a barrage of stimuli, and while some people can navigate it with relative ease, your mind maps every nuance, every unspoken signal, every subtle shift in tone or glance. You notice the things others miss, and in noticing, you carry the weight of them. You don't just see the social cues. You interpret, overinterpret, and then internalize them, often assigning meanings that were never intended. This is why casual comments can feel like judgments, and fleeting expressions can feel like deep betrayals. It's tempting to think suffering is caused by external factors: the rude colleague, the failed project, the missed opportunity. But for overthinkers, the suffering is internal. The mind becomes a machine that generates problems as quickly as the world presents them. The moment one worry is resolved, another surfaces, often one you didn't even consciously know existed. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket while someone keeps punching holes in it. Relief, peace, and satisfaction are temporary illusions that vanish the moment your attention shifts. You might try to distract yourself. Social media, games, binge-watching shows, endless scrolling. Anything to quiet the mind. And for a while, it works. But the moment you stop, the storm returns. Overthinking is relentless because it is not just mental. It is survival-oriented. Your nervous system has learned that vigilance keeps you safe, that noticing every subtle cue protects you from error, embarrassment, or pain. But what once was protective now feels like imprisonment. Sleep becomes another battlefield. Your body wants rest, but your mind refuses. Thoughts rise like tides. Conversations replayed, mistakes magnified, possibilities multiplied. The clock moves, but you feel trapped in a looping narrative that doesn't pause. And even in waking hours, the past and future are more present than the actual moment. Experiencing life directly becomes difficult because the mind insists on narrating, analyzing, evaluating, and forecasting continuously. This relentless internal dialogue has consequences. Overthinkers often feel fatigue in ways that others cannot see. They are exhausted before their day even begins, and by evening, they are emotionally drained from a battle no one else witnessed. It's a quiet suffering, subtle but profound. And what makes it worse is the guilt. The sense that you should just be able to stop, to calm down, to think normally. But that's the thing. Your mind does not know how to stop because it has been trained to operate as a hyper-vigilant interpreter of reality. Another secret pain of overthinking is the social isolation it creates. The more your mind analyzes, the harder it becomes to act spontaneously. You second-guess invitations, decline opportunities, overanalyze texts, or ruminate endlessly over what you should have said in a conversation. Life begins to feel like a minefield where every step could be wrong, and sometimes avoiding action seems safer than engaging. Over time, this pattern reinforces itself. You withdraw not because you want to, but because your mind has convinced you that engagement will bring more pain than peace. And yet, overthinkers are deeply empathetic. They notice what others do not. They understand nuance. They see complexity where others see simplicity. This sensitivity, while beautiful, is double-edged. You carry not only your own internal storms, but also the subtle energies of those around you. Their moods, their tensions, their unspoken thoughts, you pick up on them, often subconsciously. Your internal landscape is never just your own. It is layered with the weight of everyone else's emotions, filtered through your heightened perception. The irony is that the very trait that makes overthinkers insightful also makes them suffer. If you were oblivious to nuance, you might glide through life with ease, unaware of the subtleties that trigger anxiety, regret, or self-doubt. But awareness is a burden when untempered by self-compassion or techniques to manage the mind's constant churn. And most advice, just relax, don't think too much, doesn't work because it misunderstands the nature of overthinking. This is not a flaw that can be switched off. It is a wiring, a deep pattern of attention, sensitivity, and survival instincts that has been honed over years, sometimes decades. Even as the world moves on, overthinkers stay trapped in a loop of mental replay. The conversations, the decisions, the fleeting moments that others forget, you carry them. Every sigh, glance, or pause can turn into an entire narrative in your mind. And the strange thing is, you don't just replay them once. You replay them over and over, trying to extract meaning, trying to predict what might happen, trying to find a way to fix something that may not even be broken. This is why overthinking feels like suffering. Not because life is objectively worse for you than it is for anyone else, but because your mind makes every detail bigger, every moment heavier. A missed word becomes a failure, a misunderstood expression becomes a slight. A tiny decision becomes a moral quandary. You are living, yes, but you are also constantly performing in a private theater of imagined consequences and endless what-ifs. And it doesn't stop with past events. The future is equally heavy. Every decision feels like it could alter your entire life trajectory. You weigh options endlessly, calculating possibilities, probabilities, and outcomes that will never fully unfold. While others make choices instinctively, you are stuck in analysis paralysis, your mind scanning for risks that may not exist. This is why opportunities sometimes slip past you, not because you lack ability, but because your brain has rehearsed every possible mistake so thoroughly that action itself feels dangerous. And yet, there is beauty hidden in this struggle. Overthinkers notice. You see depth where others see surface. You understand subtleties, nuances, and layers that go unnoticed. You are empathetic, intuitive, and sensitive to the world in a way that allows you to connect deeply, sometimes painfully, with people, stories, and emotions. But this gift is double-edged. Every insight carries weight, and every empathy can become exhaustion. The real tragedy is the disconnect. Overthinkers often feel isolated because they inhabit a reality slightly different from everyone else's. What you notice, what you feel, what you analyze, it is invisible to others. They don't see the mental battles, the anxiety of imagined outcomes, the tension in every decision. And the more you try to explain it, the more you realize that words fail. The suffering is internal, private, and silent, yet it shapes everything you do. But there is hope, even in this storm. Overthinking does not have to be permanent suffering. Awareness is the first step. Recognizing that your mind is wired to process details, risks, and scenarios at a higher level is not a flaw, it's a pattern. And patterns, no matter how ingrained, can be shifted with patience, attention, and presence. The journey begins with noticing. Not judging, not fixing, just noticing. When a thought arises, allow it to exist without chasing it, without dissecting it endlessly. When your mind predicts catastrophe, let the prediction pass without giving it power. When anxiety surfaces, breathe into it rather than resist it. Presence, simple, unadorned, and patient, becomes a tool for reclaiming your inner space. Another key is selective attention. Overthinkers often try to engage with everything, analyze everything, feel everything at once. This is impossible. Choosing what deserves your attention and what can be observed and released is an act of liberation. It does not mean ignoring reality. It means respecting your limits and conserving energy for what truly matters. Connection is also essential. Sharing your inner world with someone who listens, truly listens, provides relief. Not advice, not judgment, not solutions, but presence. When someone acknowledges your experience without trying to change it, the weight of mental replay begins to lift. Overthinking, in part, thrives in isolation. Connection dismantles that isolation. And finally, creativity is a powerful ally. Channeling mental energy into expression, writing, art, music, or any form that externalizes thought gives it form and space outside the mind. Overthinking is relentless because it exists in a vacuum. When thoughts take shape in the world, they lose their suffocating intensity and become something tangible, even beautiful. So yes, overthinking can feel like a trap. But it is not a sentence. It is a lens, a sensitivity, a heightened awareness that, when guided with mindfulness and intentional action, can become a strength rather than a burden. The suffering diminishes not when the mind stops analyzing. It rarely will. But when you learn to inhabit your thoughts with curiosity instead of fear, with compassion instead of judgment, and with space instead of urgency. And here's the quiet truth most people don't realize. Overthinking is a sign of depth. You feel intensely, notice subtly, and anticipate consequences thoughtfully. The suffering is the price of this awareness, but it is also the indicator of a mind capable of insight, empathy, and profound understanding. The same patterns that once caused pain can, with care, create clarity. So, the next time you catch yourself spiraling, remember this. You are not broken. You are attentive. You are perceptive. You are alive in ways others may not be. The storm in your mind is not your enemy. It is the terrain you are learning to navigate. And every moment you choose presence, reflection, or expression instead of judgment or distraction, you are taking control, reclaiming your inner life, and turning what once felt like suffering into awareness. If this resonates with you, pause for a moment, breathe, and acknowledge. You are not alone in this struggle. Millions of overthinkers carry the same weight, the same patterns, the same challenges. And awareness, connection, and intentional presence are the tools that transform suffering into understanding. If you found yourself nodding along, relating to even a fraction of this, consider hitting like, subscribe, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your experience matters, and your perspective could help someone else who feels trapped in their own mind. Let's build a space where overthinkers feel seen, understood, and connected. Because overthinking doesn't have to be silent suffering anymore. It can be the beginning of awareness, empathy, and growth. And every step, no matter how small, is a victory.